this video, I'm going to talk about 3 key things that I've learned since living abroad in Chiang Mai. And number 1 is you don't need as much as you think you do. I think coming from the States, we are conditioned to always want the next best thing. We want the 5-bedroom house, we want the fancy car, we want all these material things. And since living in Thailand, I think I've realized that you can be much happier with much less. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have the means to get more if you want, but I think in the US, we're so conditioned to, we have the 5-bedroom house, but we use only one of the bedrooms. Or, we have the nice fancy car, but, we're in debt. And so I think living in Thailand, you see that people are much happier with much less. We're not needing, the next iPhone, the next, whatever that material thing is. And that's not to say that, there's not a capitalist materialistic culture here. There definitely is. Over the past 5 years of me being in Chiang Mai, I've really learned to adopt a more minimalist lifestyle. I try and only get things that I absolutely need. I could definitely have a bigger house, so I could definitely get a car here if I really wanted, but for me that's not what I need. I feel like in the States too, so many people, we buy all these things and then they sit in our closet, or we hoard all these things for years and we never touch them, or we have clothes in our closets that we haven't worn for years and we just hold on to things so much. And here I think I've really learned to just let go of that, and again really just have what I need. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned since being in Thailand also, and it's changed my mindset about again, the type of lifestyle that I want and the type of lifestyle that I have currently as well. Number 2 is you don't need to be in a rush all the time. I think in the States we have this very hustle culture of needing to go at all times, and we physically don't know how to slow down, and I think that's why so many of us are so burnt out. But not only physically hustling, but also just feeling like we're in a rush with life in general. We put these unnecessary timelines on, by 30 I should be at this stage in my life, or we put these really rigid expectations to where we think we should be at certain phases of our life, and I think that puts so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves to feel like we always have to have things figured out, and no one ever really has it figured out. You hear about all these businessmen or these investors who figured it out when they were in their 50s, or they wrote their first book and became a well-published author in their 60s, right? So I feel like in the States we put so much pressure on finding the American dream, quote unquote, or needing to hit these specific milestones, buying the house, starting the family, and not really looking at what we actually want for ourselves. And so I think even for myself, I've really been trying to learn to let go of those timelines, because we never know what life throws at us. Things happen, you get laid off, or things happen in your family, or health things come up, and you just never really know. And so I think there's not a rush to get anywhere really, and I feel like in Thailand people are so much more present. They learn to live in the present moment. I think in the States we, when I have conversations with people, it's always about what's happening in the future. What are your goals for next year? What are your goals, in 5 years, right? But I feel like in Thailand, it's, what's happening today, how can I make today a better day? Or, just really living in the present moment. And I think not only because, in Thailand there's a Buddhist culture here, but also just the lifestyle in general. It's just, you feel more at peace here. People are not constantly rushing and putting so much pressure on themselves. I mean, obviously it still exists in any part of the world, but I definitely feel it so much less here. And the last thing is that you don't need to climb the corporate ladder in order to be successful. I think this was a really hard pill to swallow. When I came to Thailand initially, I was working as a counselor, a family counselor, and I was still in that mindset of, okay, I need to, step it up and get to the next level, get a promotion, work on another license, work on another certification, all these things. And there's not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but I think there's other ways to be successful as well. The fancy job titles, the fancy promotions. I think we're working for things without really questioning what they actually mean for us. And since living in Thailand, I've been really able to redefine what success looks like in my life and how I want to reach success. And I think, I was really burnt out the first 2 years that I was here. I was coming from, I had finished grad school, I was doing my licensing, there's so many things happening, and then I moved abroad, and I was just really burnt out, and I realized that I was chasing after something that I actually wasn't really happy with and didn't really actually want for myself. And I think in the States, we're so pressured to have these fancy job titles, to constantly feel like we need to climb the corporate ladder in order for us to prove that we are successful, or to show that we, have these fancy job titles, when in reality that doesn't. You can find so many other opportunities to be successful. There's people starting their own businesses. There's so many other ways to do that, but I think we're so conditioned by society and just by our family and by life in general to feel like there's only one way and one path. So I think really, living in Thailand, I've been able to, again, redefine what I want success to look like in my own life, and also at my own time and at my own pace, and not feeling like I have to rush in order to get these things, and really just allowing myself to have the space to figure it out, even if I don't, I don't know what's going to happen in next year or the year after. I have goals and I have things that I want, but I think really giving myself the grace to let myself figure it out at my own time and at my own pace. And that's not to say that there's, living in Thailand has been perfect, but I think these 3 key areas have been really life-changing in a lot of ways, and have really helped me kind of reprogram the ways that I was thinking about things, and the ways that I was defining success in my own life, and really just kind of questioning everything that I have been taught my entire life, and creating a new path for myself at my own pace. So I hope whoever's watching this video that this was helpful or encouraging in some way. But don't forget to turn on your notifications and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll see you in the next video.